This is just easier and more efficient. Let the Operation Papaya commence. This brake disc is hot garbage. I don't know what kind of brand is this, but judging by the state of it and the fact that it's not like too much worn, it's something cheap and there's a lot of hot spots and whatnot. So I'm kind of looking forward to removing this because it's also vibrating under braking. And this is the 325i caliper, the smaller one. It's working fine, but we need bigger brakes. Difference is this. 330i brake disc is bigger, better, prettier. First remove the caliper. There you are. I'm going to replace the brake caliper last because I want to make sure that everything else fits. Excellent. Remove the bracket. That's the old bracket. That's not usable. The 330i one is different, bigger, as you can see. But the holes line up perfectly. Now we can zip out the brake disc. Smack. Oh, are you refusing to cooperate? Look how ugly that is. I'm really wondering what kind of brand is this. Nothing, no markings whatsoever. So that's junk. It's the wheel bearing. He's good, he's very good. So let's clean the hub. Alright, that's nice and clean. Let's try the brake disc. Fits like a glove. Look up the torque. I want to say 16 newton-meters. 16! I was right. Good. Now I'm going to mount the bracket. Plasti lube. Good. That's all lubed up and ready to be installed. $110. So I can mount the caliper now. Good. Add the guide pins. The repair manual says not to lube up the guide pins. Pop this one in. Look at that. Where is the... Don't move. Oh, it must be a superstar. Caps, the clip. Good. Now we can remove the old caliper and replace the brake line. First I'm going to disconnect the pad wear sensor. So for this you need to have proper spanners. And I have these. These are really, really good for this stuff. There you are. Brake fluid is my least favorite fluid of all fluids. Out comes the caliper. Now we need to connect our beautiful steel braided brake line first into the caliper. Give it a good snug. That's enough. New pad wear sensor. And there we are. This side is done. Now I just need to copy paste on the other side. So here's the situation on the rear end of the car. I cannot do the 330i brake upgrade here because the trailing arm would have to be replaced. The brake disc for the 330i has a bigger drum diameter, so you have to use different parking brake shoes, and then you need a different hub, and you have to replace the entire trailing arm in order for all of that to fit. And I'm going to do that when I buy the donor car, because then I'm going to have parts and it's going to be much easier to do. And now we're going to move on to my least favorite activity, bleeding the brakes, which on a 4-post lift, it's like going to the bathroom without your phone. You just want it done and move along. It's no fun. So brake bleeding done. You can see the organized mess here. Bled about a liter of fluid. I'm going to go bed in the pads, and then a little bit later I'm going to let you know how it feels. But bigger brakes, bigger calipers, it should feel better. Quick update on the brakes. I've covered around 1,500 kilometers since I installed 330i brakes, and this is easily in top 5 things that I've done on this car. The car is just coming to a stop much quicker and much better compared to before, and that's simply because of the bigger rotors and calipers, of course, but also better hardware. All of the old stuff that I removed was just some off-brand. When it comes to the brake pedal feel, it's pretty much the same as before, nice and firm, but I can really feel the braking power being better when I use the car on the Autobahn, and that's really important for me. So big thumbs up for this mod. How's my hair looking? Good? Great. I have no idea how much time later, and the touring has been a bad boy. Well, it's been a good boy for the most part. We covered 7,000 kilometers trouble-free, but recently it threw "I need more money from you" light at me, or if you want to be technical, check engine light. And it's having a misfire on cylinder 5 with fuel cut out. And that typically means it's not the coil. So I did the swap-a-roo just in case, moved the coil from number 5 to cylinder 2, cylinder 2 to 5, and the misfire came back on cylinder number 5 again. So it's not the coil. The misfire comes only when I push the car really hard, specifically when I drive about 120 kilometers per hour. Then it throws the check engine light and it works like a tractor because it's working on 5 cylinders. Shut it off, turn it back on, and then it comes back to normal. So when I drive it normally, everything is fine, but when I push it, it's not. So I have a couple of things in mind. Check for vacuum leaks, possibly MAF, possibly clog cats, hopefully not. What the hell is that? Shoo! Go away. Who are you? Go away, you're not BMW technician. Sorted. I also need to change the oil and flush. What the? I don't know what's going on. Someone dropped something apparently. I need to change the oil again because it's still really sludgy. I said earlier that I'm gonna do short oil changes, and that's what I've been doing. I've done like, I don't know, 4 or 5, and the oil filter is still full of sludge every time we do an oil change. So it's slowly cleaning, but it's a long process. Now I'm also gonna use the liquid moly engine flush, and after all of that is done and we checked for vacuum leaks or whatever else, we're gonna go for a spin and see if this thing is fixed. Other than that, it drives really nice. I mean, I drive it 180, 190, and it screams at 5,000 RPM in the 5th gear, but it goes. So I don't really care. I'm gonna use all the power, horses, RPM out of this thing until it blows up. So this is the recipe that we're going to follow: fresh fire WD-40 and engine flush. But the engine is full with oil, and I don't want to overfill it with this because this is half a liter. So we're gonna withdraw 500 milliliters from the engine. Take the oil reading device out. I've just cleaned this tube, and we're gonna shove it in there. There we are. That oil is disgusting. Ridiculous. Cheers. Good. Let the engine run. 10 minutes. And then we're gonna change the oil. Alright, kill the engine. Lovely. Refit the plug. Good. Add the oil. Dump the new filter in. The way you check the oil level on the M54 engine is you start it, you drive it, get it up to temp, then shut it off, wait 5 minutes, and then you pull the dipstick out and check the oil level. That's what the repair manual says. To be totally honest, this is the old filter, and it is a lot better than before. A lot less sludge now, even with the flush. Before, all of this was just full. Progress it is. Now we're gonna check for vacuum leaks using a machine that makes smoke. Then we can remove the air filter box, MAF, and connect it onto the intake boot here. Remove the MAF, and we're gonna clean it. MAF cleaner, I'm gonna be honest with you, in my experience, this does nothing. If your MAF is bad, this is not going to fix it. Let it air dry. And the link to this machine is in the description below. Put it there a long time ago. Hook it up.